Coming to you from Phoenix, Arizona, home of Super Bowl 57, it's the Geary, Stein and Stevens Show with your hosts, Troy Geary, Will Stein, and Dave Stevens. Good morning, everybody. Dave Stevens once again from Radio Row for the second time this morning with a little blip out there on the old television screen. But we are here today again, bright and early Tuesday morning in Phoenix, Arizona, downtown at the Convention Center for Super Bowl 57. Another great day for Geary, Stein, and Stevens. Let me bring in my co-host sitting across from me. It's nice to have him here in the Valley of the Sun, Troy Geary, and I know it's a lot warmer here than it is back in the Midwest, Troy.
Oh, yeah, when I left, it was 15 below, so when I got here, it was great. And
well, I'm sure everybody's enjoying being here. In fact, our guest that we're bringing in today is a former NFL quarterback who had a long career in the NFL, who joins us. And I know you folks remember him from his days with the Saints, the Lions, the Bears, the Chargers, went to the CFL for a little while, came back, and is now with us today to talk a little football, to talk about his life. So Erik Kramer, I don't know if you've heard that in a long time, is joining us.
It's been since the 90s, but thanks for reviving that. And it's good to be back. And good to see you guys again. And it just kind of takes me back to the early 90s. There was a year there at the end of the 91 season in January 92, I guess it was, where we got one game away from getting the Super Bowl, and then ran into us was Washington Redskins back then.
I know they kind of forget because the Lions and the Bears and everybody, they've been so obsolete for a while. But we've talked over the years about being able to have that longevity in the NFL, but part of that might have contributed to the things that happened in your life, a lot of the tough things that you've gone through. And again, the NFL accolades and all the wonderful things, but when the game was over, you went through some serious challenges. I know you lost your son, which was very tragic, and then you kind of had another setback where, if you want to take us through that dark day, it was your lowest point.
Yeah, and I've had several, and I think that's part of life too. A lot of people experience ups and downs. Anxiety, depression has been in and out of my life. It's been a part of it for quite a while. And yeah, to go back, my son Griffin struggled with addiction in his life, and ultimately it resulted in an overdose death of his, tragically, in 2011, the day before Halloween. And and then survived only to then pass away right on the same time that happened. But she passed away, my dad. Actually, has some college kids. Also, I think the combination of those three things was, I got to a point in 2015 where it just seemed like the people in my life was leaving. Yeah, fortunately, that was the best mistake I ever made. And so since then, when my feet hit the floor in the morning, there's nobody happier. So you have to go, if I go back that far, there's much of that day I don't remember. There's much of simplicity would say, they would say what I did was an accident. And I said, no, I personally planned to do this. Different years gone by now, I've more than realized that you can't be in your right mind. What I do it because now I have the perspective of all the people that lives I nearly ruined, starting with my son. Because Griffin passed away with Dylan. And is alive and fighting now. Really, this is the longest in his life. And so to move forward, and part of some things now that make me feel good about contributing to other people. Erik, you played with Reader. It kind of takes back to that time when you were there. Amazing watching him, whatever it was. And it's not like anyone ever said to him, could you describe what it was you just did? So it was just instant magic. It was unscripted. And and we're inside, like in the middle of winter, I could walk through the room, and Mel was always on the spot. And those two sometimes would fight like that.
Well, Erik, when you had those magic moments, when did you start to experience life again that was exciting as the NFL? I know in 2020 you kind of just woke up from everything that you've been through. We could talk a little bit about what you went through with your ex-wife and all that horrible stuff, but here you are. It's an incredible comeback. You've written about it. You talk about it. So how did you get over the darkest, deepest part of your life where, again, none of us know what that's like to go through and to get to that point where you would pull a trigger and have a bullet go into your head?
Yeah. Well, I would say that the recovery process, as you mentioned, there's a good 3-ish years in there that I don't really remember a whole bunch. And so the depression part, and I hate to put it in these terms because I would never recommend this to anybody else suffering from depression, but I almost think I shot it out. But that doesn't. The neuropsychologist that I've dealt with over the years, named Robert Tomaszewski, and he was telling me, he goes, Erik, I don't care if you're depression or not. I'm glad there isn't, but you're going to deal with some other stuff. And I have been. And part of it was lack of sleep, and part of it was impulse control. And so there's a brilliant doctor, Dr. Chris Giza, who's part of UCLA, and has a kind of a sub, what would you call it? A sub practice called brain sport. And it's other doctors like him in the area of brain trauma. And one of them was Dr. Darby, who basically through some mild, literally B6 and some time-release melatonin, all of a sudden I went from 0 to 1 hour of sleep to like regular. like 6 to 8 hours is not a big deal anymore. And just that alone has been just uplifting to be part of your own recovery. And I think that I think I've always liked to be involved in someone else's sort of growth and development. So whether it's passing camps that I've held in the past, or now there's a mental health program that I'm trying to get launched in a couple of different levels, and it feels like to me like I'm going to be part of something that doesn't exist for other people in both cases. And so I'm excited because it allows me, it gives me back a purpose to interject part of my experience either as a listener or as someone who can impart what I've learned over the years. Because a lot of what you learn, no matter how high you go, is failure. It never goes away. And every great story, every triumphant story typically starts out with a failure of some kind, sometimes massive.
Well, we're so glad that you were able to recover it and be a part of this, and again, start making a difference in life with everything that you do. Erik Kramer joining us here on Radio Row at day 2 of the Super Bowl. And of course, we wouldn't be here if we didn't have our wonderful sponsors from, of course, Fresh Clean Threads, and they've got a big special going on for the Super Bowl exclusive to our listeners, the Geary, Stein and Stevens show. If you go to freshcleantees.com, type in the show code touchdown, you get 25% off. And of course, you look good, you feel good, and these clothes are wonderful. We're wearing them all week because they look so amazing on us. So it is freshcleanthreads.com. Check out this shirt. And of course, Troy's sitting over there. Troy, you got to show off your shirt, right? Your Fresh Clean Threads. Yeah. Yeah, it really pops out your eyes and sparkles your eyes. And again, thank you to all of our sponsors that are a big part of our week. Of course, coming up, we got the big thing this weekend, but Jam Bar is donating energy bars and things. So we have that all week. Thank you again, Jam Bar. And got the big camp coming up, the Ability Football Camp, February 11th. This Saturday at Camelback High School. It's a football camp for those with disabilities, but anybody can come out. We should have some stars and people out there showing kids with disabilities how to play football, but more importantly, getting them active, and kind of like my life, showing anybody can do anything that they want to do in life. And let's bring in Erik Kramer one more time. And Erik, I know we've been kind of like talking sadly about your life, but what are some of the greatest memories that you still have of your NFL career?
Well, so start out talking about how when I was with the Lions, we ended up in the NFC Championship game in early 92. The game prior to that, I think just the team itself in Detroit was by far, I think, the most talented team I'd ever been on. And so much of that credit should go to Mike Hughes and Kevin Gilbert. We ended up all that together. And it's about, but it's together. And I had a few injuries, but man, there were some. That's where I learned the best offense, I think, in the world, which is the West Coast passing game. And we were basically the West Coast passing game meshed with Dallas' run game. And because our offensive coordinator starting out was my returner, North. And so I just so much like that I had.
I want to ask you a quick question about Wayne Fonts. He was one of your. Just talk about the guy,
the man in general, and what kind of coach was he?
Well, I think he was pretty hands off in terms of he wasn't in any way a micromanager. And I think what he did a pretty good job of was kind of assessing the team from an aerial view and what's too much, what's not enough in terms of practice. And I think he allowed players to be themselves. And that's what I remember. I think he was very good at kind of supporting people, not necessarily technique wise, but from a kind of higher up perspective.
Awesome.
Well, Wayne, I liked when he was in the league, man. He really had a different style and approach.
He's colorful.
Yeah, it's a wonder because they keep regurgitating all these coaches over and over. And, Wayne should have gotten another shot, I think, in the NFL. But so where can people find out about your programs and get your book and all these wonderful things and hire you to speak or bring you in? What's the best way to find you?
Well, we're working on that right and website with it's going to be called Mental Health Touchdown. Do not have that site up and going yet, but I will get back in touch with you when all of these things are actually in place and looking forward to just like I said, the book's probably going to get released. I'm going to guess in late fall of this year, and I just like I said, I think there's so many good things that are sort of the groundwork's being laid for the future, and I think that's something that I and the people that are working along these projects with me are looking forward to.
Well, you're looking good, you're sounding good, and you're making a difference. So I'm thankful to God that you didn't pull that trigger and get what you wanted. So just a great time spending us again. These are the things we don't talk about much because we don't talk about mental illness. We don't talk about what happens with players and depression and all that kind of stuff when all the glory is gone. So, Erik, thank you for sharing your personal story so much and being very intimate with all of us and just being raw. I mean, that's what makes you so special. So thank you so much, and appreciate you for being here on Radio Row. We've got some other guests coming up in a little while. We got Carrot Top and LeGarrette Blunt, so it's going to be a fun day here on Radio Row as we wrap up. And again, don't forget, we got that big special going. It's exclusive to us. You can't get it anywhere else in the United States. It's freshcleantees.com/GSS show. Type in touchdown. You get shirts. In fact, Eric's going to get a really nice Fresh Clean Thread t-shirt. That's what we give our guests. We don't have watches or anything fancy like that. So continue to follow Geary, Stein and Stevens on all platforms. We're going to be here all week long, all the way up until the big game between the Eagles and the Chiefs. We had a great time last night at opening night, but that's going to wrap it up for this session of me and Troy and everybody on Radio Row. So thank you for joining us, and we'll be with you in just a little bit. So goodbye, everybody.
Excellent.
Awesome. Thank you, Erik.
Thank you, guys. Troy, awesome, man.
Yeah, awesome.
Very cool.
People realize
I've seen a lot of your games
being
growing
who you
up
are,
from Minnesota. So
most people won't just come out and say that. I just covered up.
what size we really have a shirt for you. So what kind
I do.
of size
What
do you
size
want?
do you like?
Well, the one I'm actually wear is an XL.
Okay.
So if you got those, that'd be great.
Extra large.
Yeah. Unless you have that Euro cut,
Well, they fit. They fit pretty good here.
All right.
Two
Yes.
X's, you're comfortable.
No, XL is just fine.